guys, welcome to my channel Code Fleet, and today in this video we're going to be talking about NumPy, and there are 4 topics that we are going to cover in this video, and these are creating, indexing, slicing and data types of the NumPy. So let's dive right into it, and let's start with by importing NumPy as NP. We use this as NP as a short form so that you can it becomes really easy to use it everywhere. You just don't have to write NumPy every time. You can just use 2 keywords and NP. It's so easy. So let's create our first array. Arr is equals to, so the syntax for it is to NP dot, then use the class array, and you write something like, okay, you write 10. For information, if you write just 10 here, it becomes a scalar array. It has no dimensions, like it is. You can also say it like it's a 0D array. It's not a 1D. It's not has any 1 dimension or 2 dimension, 3 dimension. It's just a scalar array. It's just a 0D array. So let's print this array. What we get here? Okay, we get 10. But let's check the type of this array. It's going to return us ND array, NumPy.nd array, because it's a NumPy array. It's not some sort of list or anything. So that's how you can create 0D array. But if you want to create a 1-dimensional array, so let's create a 1-dimensional array. So let's arr1 is equals to, you can do it. Okay, for creating 1-dimensional array, you'll just have to pass the list here, and you can just do this, like as many as you want. So let's create this, and arr1 be bigger. Okay, so ndim. Okay, so if we use the ndim class, if you just use it after the variable, after the array by using dot operator, so you get the dimensions here. It gives you the dimension of an array. So let's comment it here so that you don't get confused when you will use this notebook. Returns dimensions of an array. Okay, so it's a 1D array. So let's now create a 2D array, and you will get, you will understand why do we need to use 1D array, 2D array and 3D array. So let's create 2-dimensional array. So np.array. What you just do, that for 1D array you just put one list, 1 square bracket, and for 2D array you make them 2 and just write values here. And if you want to add another here, then you just add here with values. Let's write this. Okay, so if you check arr2.ndim, its dimension, it's going to return you 2 because it's a 2-dimensional array. So let's print it. It's going to be like this. So this is row and these are the columns, as you can see. So now let's create a 3-dimensional array, and by now you should be guessing how you can create that. So arr3 is equals to np.array. For 3-dimensional array, 3 list, 3 square brackets. Now let's create 4, and for 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and let's use the ndim to find out the dimensions here. Okay, so we didn't use 3 here. Okay, it's a 3-dimensional array. So what you can do now, let's print out how it looks like. Okay, so as you can see here, 1 square bracket, 2 square bracket, and 3 square bracket. It's a 3-dimensional array. You will understand when we will use indexing right now. So let's use the indexing here. Indexing, let's change it to the markdown. Okay, so as I told you in the Python tutorials, if you have watched my videos, indexing is the same thing here. It's not that much different. So I'm just going to give you a basic idea in just 2 commands. So let's use the ARR1. Okay, let's see how it looks like. Okay, so ARR1, if you know, you can just write, okay, we want to find out what's on the second index. So let's see. Okay, it's 3. As you can see, it's the 0th index, it's the first, it's the second index. So it's the same for everything. You just if you know how to use indexing in the Python, you can use the indexing here too. So let's use the indexing on the two-dimensional array. So 2. Okay, so what it did, let's print this array too so that you can understand with me. Okay, so before the comma it represents the rows, number of rows, and after the comma it represents the number of column. So what it did here, this means that I want all the rows in return, and this means I want second column, a second index column. So what it did here is it returned me this column 3 and 56, 0, 1, 3, 0, 1, 2, so not 3. So that's what it returned to us. If you do something like this, what it's going to do is it's just going to return you 56 because we are getting first row. This one is the 0th row, this one is the first row. So in first row I want second column, so that leaves us with the 56. So that's why we are with 56 here. So that's indexing. I'm just going to leave it like this here. If you know Python, you can just do whatever you want within NumPy if you talk about the indexing. So let's talk about the slicing. So okay. So what a slicing is, slicing means that you're going to slice between the array or from the starting or from the end. Let's see an example. Let's use array number 1. Okay, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's slice it. We are going to slice it from index 1 to index 4. Yes, this is slicing. You're slicing from one particular part to the second particular part. So let's make it to 1, 2, 4. Okay, so what we're getting here is 0th index, it's 1th index. So what we are doing here is that we want values from 1 to 4. We don't want from 0th index or from 5th index. We want just the values from 1 to 4. So 2, 3, and 4. This is what we're getting. But let me tell you one thing here: 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the 4 index comes here. Why didn't we get the last value? Because as I've told you in the Python tutorials too, Python consider the as you can see at this one, Python consider the starting index, but it excludes the ending index. So you are getting this one here, but you will not get this fourth one here. You will get the third one here, and that's how Python works. It's not someone else's fault. So what you can do here is, okay, let's see what we can also do with this. 1 to 4. Okay, let's say that we want all the values from the second index. From the second index, we want all values. This means all. So what we are doing here is, starting from the second index, we want all the rows, all the values. So that's it. 3, 4, 5. So let's try to do with two-dimensional array. So let's first print it. Okay, so ARR2, let's do, we have a row and a column here, so let's first do it with the row. Let's say we want 0th row, and we want in 0th row values from 2 to 4. 2 to 4. It represents column, it represents row. So what we're going to get is we're going to get 3 and 4, because in 0th row we want values from 2 to 4, that is 0, 1, 2, and this. We're going to get this because it excludes the last index, and this 5 is excluded. So that's how easy it is. You can also do this with 3. So okay, let's first print it. Okay, we want 0th row, 0 row, and okay, we 0, and we want second. Okay, we get 3 here. So what we're gonna do, okay, as you can see, we have 3 square brackets here. So first row, and in this we're getting this, what we're getting the second index, so that is 0, 1 and 2, that is 3. We're gonna get 3 here. But let's say we do something like this, it's gonna give us error because index 2 is out of bounds for axis 1 with size 2. We are not giving it the right size. So in 3-dimensional array you will have to use these 3 parts here. So we're gonna get, okay, so this gives us the entire column here. So we have 3 and 5 of the second index of the column, and this is the row. So let's make it 1. So what we're going to get here is, we're going to get index 1 is out of bounds for axis 0, because okay, we are going to get value from 3 to 5, but if we use this one, what we are going to get, it doesn't have any value below that. Okay, so let's put it to 0 and we are getting 3 to 5. So this is slicing. And if we talk about data types, I also wanted to tell you one thing. I'll be putting these all notebooks in the description down below so that you can use them in your system, in your local system later, and it will really be helpful for you guys. And I'll also be putting the GitHub link so that you can fork or clone the repository of this NumPy. Okay, so what are data types? As I've told you in the Python also, the data types are the same here. The first one is string, the second one is number, and the other one is what, I mean, there are so many data types: string, number. Okay, and let's say we have float, we have boolean. These are the, these are the ones that are mainly used. So let's create a new array of the, let's give it a string. So np.array, and create an array. First let's make a string new. Okay, so arrs, if you will print it, you will get the string here, and data type is u6. You don't need to do, you don't need to know what this u6 is. Don't worry about this. Okay, I mean, we are passing string. Okay, we are getting string here, but what if we pass number? So and number is equals to np.array 1 2 3 4 5. But what here we are doing, what we're going to do here is we're going to change them into the string. Okay, data type as not understood, capital S. Okay, it was capital S. So now what we're going to do is we're going to print this. Okay, as you can see, it has been converted into the string. I mean, these all were numbers, 1 2 3 4 5. I wrote them as numbers, but now they all are the strings. So that's how you can choose your own data type for the particular value that you have entered, or the array that you just created. And that concludes everything for today. Thank you so much, guys. And in the next video, I'll be coming with the topics like NumPy copy and view. What are those and how we can use them? I mean, what sort of advantages or disadvantages they have. So thank you so much, guys, and see you next time. Bye.